We present the defense in 60 seconds.
This is the W2 Report with Sanji Homura. Here's Sanji.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the W2 Report. I am your host, Sanji Homura. Today we are joined by Lord Crocker Squirrel, who will go over the ground rules as the cat will eat the sign.
Rule number 1, don't be a dick. Rule number 2, if you are being a dick, please refer to rule number 1. Rule 3, touching the Crocker Squirrel's tail is a good way to get bit.
All right, rounding out the panel today.
Rule 4, the rolled up newspaper for swatting Sanchi on the nose is on the coffee table. It will always be there, and if he's being really dumb, and if you use it for its intended purpose, please put it back. I have tactical nuclear weapons for violators of Rule 4, and I'm not afraid to use them.
All right, rounding out the panel today, our third man in the ring, Mr. Thomas.
Now, if you're talking about defense, that wins championship. If you can't play defense and you're a knucklehead, that is just terrible. It's terrible.
All right. Also on the panel, we have Mr. Vaughn.
Well, I've already cast my vote for Game of the Year. It's going to Palworld.
Okay, then.
Okay. Also on the...
I need to get a copy of that. Seriously.
Oh, there's this fun game called Pokemon. It's basically that.
Yeah, no. We want this version of it because Pokemon is boring, and yes, Pokemon is boring as shit.
Oh my god.
Yes, that's right. I said it.
My heart.
Also on the panel today, we have Mr. Lindgren.
Yeah, I'm having trouble rolling up these nuclear arms because every time I put them through the hydraulic press to flatten them out, they explode.
Well, you should really stop doing it that way then.
Well, I ran out of newspapers.
True.
Look, dude, you gotta not set off the shape charge.
Okay. Okay, our top story today. The Epsilon virus and DunJumb. To go back to last year, there was a little game called Downfall, which is a Slay the Spire mod. On the day after Christmas, it was discovered by Downfall's developers that a virus infected their systems. And shall we say the leak, the information breach, the security breach, lasted for roughly 1 hour, and it affected a number of their systems. Excuse me. It affected a number of their systems, including the computer that it basically distributes the game through Valve. To Valve.
Mm-hmm. The upload machine.
Yep, the upload machine. Now, in relation to this, a second game was discovered to have been affected by the same virus.
Oops.
A little game called DunJumb. Now, if you go to itch.io on the 28th, 29th, the 30th, whatever, you'll find the DunJumb game released and fully being distributed. It was the Steam version of DunJumb that we're talking about today. Excuse me.
Jesus Christ, have you got the virus too?
Nah, he's just in pork up on lung territory.
Oh, nice. Who needs them anyway?
Well, I took a look at the game and discovered that the Steam DB database was infected by these files. You will see a comparison thereof on your screen right now. Every little detail on DunJumb's game, which is on the left, and Downfall's data during the security breach is on the right. Now, I won't identify which is patient 0. As a matter of fact, I will refer to SidAlpha's video on DunJumb on the simple matter of he covered this a lot more detail, and he actually communicated with the developer of DunJumb himself. Now, this isn't the reason why we're here. We're here because, according to SidAlpha's video, DunJumb's hacking wasn't brute forced, unlike Downfall. Instead, the developer willingly handed over his information over to the hackers because he was alleged to have been blackmailed. Now, as consumer advocates ourselves, we adopted the attitude of the protection of the consumer is paramount here.
Nobody gives a shit about the developers. At least not in this case.
And the developer of DunJumb sold out his prospective customers on the off chance that he would not get blackmailed. Now, if you want to read over the Epsilon Stealer, there is an excellent article over at PC Risk that explains in further detail why Epsilon is a bad thing, and especially to gamers. Now, I'm going to ask the rest of the panel their thoughts on the Epsilon virus.
Well, if I can kick things off if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I mean, well, look, when the Epsilon virus hit, we all went into lockdown, and it wasn't great, but here we are. We got through it, guys. I might have got it confused with a different one.
I'm much more familiar with the Omega virus when it took over the space station and we all had to get together to cure that. Man, that was such an obscure board game.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing for me. I find it ironic that a website called Valve didn't have a safety one.
Oh,
It Really, this thing should have been scanned and spotted immediately.
Yeah, instead now we're going to Half-Life.
Oof. But then Valve, or just remember that Valve can't count to 3. It forgot how.
But a virus can.
At this rate, we might be just happy with quarter life.
What research I've been able to do on the Epsilon virus is it was mean, nasty, and you don't want to do that.
Oh, I do. I want to poke it with a stick.
You do not want that anywhere near you.
All right.
I'm pretty sure it's a hijacker.
Yes, it is.
So it turns your shit into a feces slinging simian. Is all the things.
Oh, so it turns my computer into me.
No, it's not that bad. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Of course, when asked about it, Tommy Wiseau said, "Oh, hi, Jacka."
All right. Our second story today. Billy Mitchell versus Twin Galaxies is over.
Settled. It has been settled.
Yay. I didn't know if we were doing a reaction.
According to the website Courthouse News Service, the confidential settlement comes months before the 2019 case was scheduled for trial. And both sides facing sanctions for misconduct during discovery.
In other words, they were being stupid shits, and the judge is like, "Okay, you two fuckers need to go in a room, do whatever it is you got to do, and come up with a fucking settlement before I put you all in jail for being assholes."
Well, it looks like they did. It looks like they got John Wick involved as well.
Well,
no, that's just
John
the cousin
Wick
that John Wick refuses to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, here is Twin Galaxies' statement on the issue. I'm pulling it up as an archive for reasons. Billy Mitchell Donkey Kong score performances of 1,047,200, the King of Kong score, and all of his scores were originally accepted and posted as recorded performances by Twin Galaxies based on either video tape submission, live referee verification, or a combination of tape submission and live referee verification. Now, on February 2nd, 2018, Twin Galaxies Adjudication began investigating a dispute claim filed by a community member asserting that these performances were not generated on by unmodified Donkey Kong arcade hardware as required by leaderboard rules. On April 2nd, 12th, 2018, Twin Galaxies removed all of Mitchell's scores and banned Mr. Mitchell from competing on Twin Galaxies competitive leaderboards. This was centered upon a technical basis of what Twin Galaxies believed to be a demonstrated impossibility of original unmodified Donkey Kong hardware to produce the images shown on the videotape recordings of some of the disputed adjudicated performances. The basis of this decision was an independent investigation by Twin Galaxies, supported by a series of detailed submissions, experiments, and analysis by Twin Galaxies from the Twin Galaxies community, each with varying degrees of technical expertise and access to equipment. Recently, on behalf of Mr. Mitchell, Dr. Michael Zida, an individual who holds a Bachelor of Arts in Computer and Information Science from the University of California, San Diego, a Master's of Science in Computer and Information Science from the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, and a Doctor of Science from the University of Washington School of Engineering, who has been qualified as an expert by California and federal courts, concluded that the same gameplay on the subject tapes could in fact depict play on original unmodified Donkey Kong hardware if the hardware involved was malfunctioning due to degradation of components.
Degradation.
Yeah.
Not denigration. Degradation. Now say it right.
Well, I don't care enough to say it right. They don't pay me enough.
They pay you at all?
Dude,
No, and that's the freaking problem.
well, that's just it. The reason I'm telling you to say it properly because the other word has a completely different context.
Yep.
Damn. Then
Twin Galaxies is committed to ensuring fairness for all parties and to allow and consider any new information that becomes available. In addition, Twin Galaxies seeks to disclose all and any new evidence so that individuals can form their own judgments. Okay, here's a judgment. Billy Mitchell is a freaking cheater. To this end, Twin Galaxies openly and publicly takes note of the doctor's expressed expert opinion in regard to providing a method by which videotaping content in question might have been produced. Twin Galaxies' mandate is to verify the submissions meet verification guidelines, not to investigate how they were produced. The latter area remains available to experts such as the Good Doctor and other interested parties who may examine it and assess these matters for their individual purposes. Twin Galaxies takes no official stance on the creation of submitted content, but can recognize and acknowledge the Doctor's expert opinion. Here's the bold part. In fair consideration of the expert opinion provided by Dr. Zeta on behalf of Billy Mitchell and consistent with Twin Galaxies' dedication to the meticulous documentation and preservation of video game score history, Twin Galaxies shall herefore reinstate all of Mr. Mitchell's scores as part of the official historical database on the Twin Galaxies website. Additionally, upon closing of the matter, Twin Galaxies shall permanently archive and remove from online display the dispute thread, Donkey Kong, the Billy Mitchell score, the Boomer score dispute on the Twin Galaxies on the TwinGalaxies.com website, as well as all related statements and articles. Now, if there is some reason for this, Billy Mitchell happens to have had his scores beaten since the Twin Galaxies dispute.
Oh.
Cheaters never prosper.
well, and here's
Cheaters
the thing.
never prosper.
They put them back in the archive and delete and dump that thread. And then what are they going to do to Mitchell after that?
Well, according to some sources that I've recently came across, Billy Mitchell is still banned by Twin Galaxies from submitting new scores to the modern database as he was a proven cheater.
Okay.
Well, there is another angle that we haven't really looked at here. Maybe Twin Galaxies was trying to get a giant monkey off its back.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically
That's
doing
exactly-
this to
that's-
shut Billy Mitchell up.
Yep. They gave
And they
him back.
can't do
they
it
gave him
now that
back
his
his
score is
scores.
irrelevant.
They
It was
gave
at
him
this
back
point
his
that the
scores,
panel did
which
not
is
realize the joke.
historically relevant, but little more, and almost as historic, not even as historically relevant as Darwin, who is just a guy that did that started us on the road to what we now call biology, but Mitchell's scores are over there in the history file, but he can't do anything modern. As far as I'm concerned, fair enough.
Yeah.
Whether they said he was a fucking cheater or not.
It was at this point that the panel realized they did not get the joke.
Now, Mitchell's team released a statement saying that he was completely vindicated and blah 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 blah. Now,
whatever.
According to Twin Galaxies' own statement, he did have live referee verification on his scores.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess who the fucking referee was?
Billy himself or
Stevie Wonder?
Dr. Zane.
It was another cheater by the name of Todd Howard.
Ooh, Toddy. Oh, poor Todd.
Well, it just works.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
He refereed with 16 times the detail.
Hold on just a second. I think I got the. Give me a second here. Todd Rogers. I knew
Todd Rogers.
I knew that. Yeah.
Todd Rogers.
It wasn't Todd Howard.
Well, it could have been Todd Howard, but he was busy.
That rolled up newspaper now. Okay, Todd Rogers happens to be another cheater who got the wild claim that he got the fastest time in Dragster with a 5.51.
Wow.
Seconds, I assume.
Yes. After analyzing the game's code, the fastest possible time happens to be 5.57. Who verified Todd Rogers' score?
Todd Howard.
RuPaul.
Well, close enough, Thomas, for government work. But it happens to have been Todd Rogers' live-in girlfriend at the time, who was still a judge, who happens to have been a judge, and Todd Rogers had at the time the notebook of the Twin Galaxies score sheet, the Twin Galaxies leaderboards. Now, suffice to say that Todd Rogers' score was invalidated. Now, with that, let us go into story number 3. Blue Drake 42 happens to have put out a statement last week confirming the fact that he is suing SIBA Games. If you watched our previous live stream, Operation Harsh Asset Theft, you will know the intricacies of copyright infringement. But what he happens to have stated in his video isn't up for discussion here, but rather it is the defense of SIBA Games in their own statements on Discord, which we will present on the screen right now. Now, this is coming from their community manager, Braindead. He added everyone and said, "We never denied that we have made a mistake. The thing that we have been shouting about for months, even to Blue Drake and the community, that is, we are not thieves. We offered Blue Drake the chance to resolve our mistake with all peaceful possibilities and also economically. We also explained the whole story to Blue Drake personally. Every opportunity to talk was refused and denied, which is the point of his intent became clear to us." Okay. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of this statement. I'm just going to cycle through it.
We have been dedicated to clarity and honesty this entire time.
Yeah, because that is going to be a thing. Now, you notice this here. This was sent from our developer Cape in the main chat. I just wanted to put it here in a format that everyone can see. And this is Mr. Cape's statement in full. Well, mostly in full.
So not in full.
Okay, now, this is half. This is half.
Ah, okay.
I'll frame it that way. Now, he's one of the programmers at Venatur, and I'm the one who impartially, note the quotations here, and with my professionalism tried to verify Blue Drake's accusations in the email. As I can assure you, as I assured Blue Drake in my first email, that the resources that were present in Venatur until December 13th and were not the same in technical terms as the Operation Hard Door Stop Door mod kit. It doesn't freaking matter. In the email, I wrote him that the ones in our position were made with feet, partly textured, and very, very few polygons. Those of the Operation Harsh Door Stop mod kit made much better with the right materials and the right UV map. Apparently, even in my eyes, never denied this. The same as those of Operation Harsh Door Stop. That point after At this point, after replying to Blue Drake, I raised a fuss in SEMA Games, with many of the VIPs and guys in this Discord will be able to confirm by, quote, exclaiming how the fuck these meshes ended up in Venatur. The studio investigated with the marketplace receipts. It investigated with the freelancers. It investigated with the artist suppliers. It turned out that one of these freelancers has sold us a package containing these assets. From the first moment we started to remove it and understand if there were others, how many times we have taken it in the ass. At that point, we had the boy indicted, come to the studio. He showed us the PayPal receipts of the packages that no longer exist on the marketplace. There's no point in searching. We were talking about it 10, 12 months ago. I stop here because it's not me to go any further. It's not right of me to go any further. Okay. Do you know why these statements were put out? Now, if you count banning Blue Drake 42 from the Discord and revoking the key to Venatur happens to be a thing, what gives you the right to accuse a freelancer of not doing his work.
Well, it's always the damn freelancers.
No, it's
I mean-
he just scapegoating.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah, it is the need for scapegoating. Now, if there's anything else in regards to this situation, I could probably be assured that I will eat a ban on their Discord now. Now that these statements have come to light. And if this kid, freelancer, happened to have used stolen assets, happened to have repackaged the marketplace, Operation Harsh Doorstop assets, and sold them to SEMA Games, they're still on the hook for copyright infringement. Because it doesn't matter how they got the assets. What matters is, did they use them?
The answer would be yes.
And they kept them after being told that they were that they were stolen assets.
Ironically enough, the timing of SEMA Games removing assets happens to have correlated with our last live stream on Operation Harsh Doorstop. They made that public announcement on their website not even 5 minutes after we went over it.
Oh.
Interesting.
Now, this is not our way of tooting our own horn here. It's the fact that Mr. Cape over here happens to have lied. Not only on the source of removing the assets, but Mr. Cape could have been the person who have gotten the resources together for the assets. Speaking of liars, we now go into a story of gaslighting. Fantastic yesterday put out a statement that blamed certain YouTubers who have covered the day before of a conspiracy to make the game fail. What's rich about this statement is the fact that they didn't delete any of the previous statements regarding the studio's closure, and they deleted the tweet containing the statement twice to avoid getting community noted. What you see on your screen right there is the statement itself. Now, here's some greatest hits. Even after the game closed, we, together with the publisher, returned money to all players, including forcibly issuing refunds to those who did not request them. How many companies return money like that? We are not a fly-by-night company. Now, two things about that statement. Valve operates, as I've recently found out, on a plus 15 system. Meaning, at the end of the month, whatever sales you accumulated would be paid out 15 days after the end of the month. Twitch has something similar. Now, if they lied twice with that statement. They lied. They also lied about paying out the debts that they were under. Now, if Valve operated on a plus 15 pay schedule, the money wasn't Fantastic's to forcibly refund. It was still Valve's. Now, on the question of what do they say when the release game is not the same as that in the trailers, and why was the game closed? Their answer: we implemented everything shown in the trailers. Do you believe that piece of crap?
No.
Yes, but I am gullible, to be fair.
Yes, they did. There was probably somewhere in the game the ability to drive a Jeep through mud.
I believe it.
From home improvements and a detailed world to off-road vehicles, we only disabled a few minor features like parkour due to bugs but plan to include them in the full release. Now, what seems to be the problem here? The problem here is that they were hoping, Fantastic was hoping, to perpetually release a vertical slice of, quote, gameplay. To put it another way, they actually had the Half-Life 3 syndrome. If anybody is familiar with that terminology. Now, if Fantastic had the Half-Life 3 syndrome, but we're releasing vertical slices of gameplay that fooled not only gamers, but NVIDIA into showcasing their game on their channel. Now, why did they say the studio was closing? Oh yeah, they perpetuated a fraud. And if Valve were to have paid them roughly 10 days ago, they would perpetuate the fraud. Now, with that said, I will do a separate video on the Pal World salt mines. But to give you a little tease, here is Nintendo's statement on Pal World. Now, if you want to see that full video, please follow us on our Twitter at the W2 Report. Follow us on Instagram. And follow us wherever the W2 Report content is sold and shared. So, with that out of the way, I'd like to thank... Well, not quite. Now, with that out of the way, I am Sanji Himura. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. And our sneak peek of our next W2 report will be an investigation into a game called Chaos Metaverse. Why did this developer shoot himself in the freaking foot? We will discuss that next week. But beware, the taxman cometh.
Hello, folks. This is Morgan Freeman. This concludes our broadcast today. I'm Morgan Freeman. Good night.